Hello, this is Theresa Conway-Hayes in Meridian, Idaho, and I'm the Stampin' Bookkeeper. And you can find me at thestampinbookkeeper.com. So let me see real quick here if I can tell if technology is working the way that it's supposed to. Today we're going to, recent post Stampin' Live with positive thoughts. So in there I'm live. Perfect. Okay, looks like the orientation is right for everything. Nothing worse than getting through with a whole live presentation, which you can't edit, to find out that the orientation wasn't right, you were off the screen, or something like that. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to use this Positive Thoughts stamp set from the 2020 mini catalog. And before I get started, if you decide that you want to place an order and you're doing it from this production, you'll want to use this host code. This is my March host code. It's QHM3ZBJP. And I'll put that in the comments after this episode has been completed. Excuse me. I'm not talking the whole time I'm getting ready, so then when I go live and I start talking, then I should remember to take a drink of water first. So we're going to use Whisper White for both the card base and the layer. I'm going to take my scoreboard. You can also use your trimmer for this. And I'm going to score at 4 1/4. So this piece of cardstock is 8.5 inches long by 5.5 inches wide, and it's scored at 4 1/4. I love my scoreboard because I like to make boxes and gift bags and that sort of thing. I didn't turn on my comments yet, so let me go ahead and turn on my comments. Don't think we have any visitors yet. Let me just try one more thing here to make sure everything's okay. All right, so I look for the divot and I fold that way when I score. And that's my technique, that's my process. Burnishing it with my bone folder. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my envelope and I am going to not take my envelope. I changed my mind. I'm going to take my card and my greeting and my memento black stamp. I did just re-ink this the other day because I felt like it was too light, and hopefully it's going to be in good shape now. Check for the orientation and stamp. I force myself, it's the same thing when I shoot. I force myself to go up a little bit on the right side. And so when I'm target practicing, I might shoot at first and notice that I consistently go down a little bit. Well, that's the same thing when I'm stamping, and you can still see that even with this one. I consistently go down a little bit on the right side. So next time my adjustment's going to have to be a little bit higher. So now I'm going to take my, I'm using 3 colors today. I'm using Old Olive, Pineapple Punch, and Balmy Blue. For the one foliage, I'm going to use, I guess stems and leaves are foliage and flowers are floral. So for the foliage, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not much of a botanist, I'm going to use this beautiful stamp. I love this image. And I'm going to stamp full strength, and then I'm going to stamp partial strength, or second dimension is another way of saying that. Move this out of the way so that I don't make a mess. Tidy up a little bit. Okay, so now we've got the inside of the card. This is simple stamping, by the way. And I just constantly like to burnish to keep that laying flat for while I'm working. Now I am going to take my envelope and I'm going to turn it over. Let's see. And I'm going to take a piece of scratch paper and while I've still got some, actually I'll put a little bit more ink on here. And I'm going to do kind of the same thing here. Take my butterfly, which is one of the other images that I'm using. Stamp that right there. And I'm going to stamp one on the front. Now the envelope is complete. Now we're going to do the front of the card. And we're back to the foliage. This leafy stem. And I'm going to stamp one right there. And another one right here. And I'll do another one stamped off. Where did I put my paper? Right here. There, that's pretty cohesive. Now I'm going to take my flower and my pineapple punch. I'm going to put one right there. One right there. And one right here. I think I'm done with my pineapple punch ink. Now I'm going to take, let's see, I just came up with another idea while I was doing this. I don't have a pineapple punch, marker. So I'm going to use the crushed curry, and I'm just going to put some little detail into the flower. Okay, that looks pretty good. What do you think? And now I'm going to, so the inside side says sending positive thoughts your way. Let's see what we're going to do. We're going to do hugs, prayers, and love on the outside. And my stamp is being a little persnickety, so I'm going to use my take your pick tool. I'm going to use the spatula side, and I'm going to pry underneath there to pull that up. I try to use the right size acrylic block for the stamp. So I try not to have a lot of overhang for the stamp because that helps me to not get ink on the stamp. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment in black. Smeared a little bit down there, but otherwise it looks pretty good. In my handwriting it might look like that too. And I like for my stamped cards to kind of reflect what I would do if I were handwriting it. And so we're going to put a little bit of embellishment on this and we'll be done. I did not plan ahead of time what embellishment to use. I think I'm going to use rhinestones. Okay, first I'm looking at the holiday rhinestones, and I don't see anything that appeals to me for that. Those colors are darker than what I have on my card. Now I'm going to look at the Noble Peacock. Closer, but still not something that green almost. So let's make some rhinestones that I like. We're going to take the broad tip of the marker and we're going to color some rhinestones. Now the hard part, where to put them. I usually do my embellishments in a line. Not always, but that's usually what I choose to do. Okay, so now we have a completed card and a coordinating envelope. And we didn't get a butterfly on here. That's what I was missing. Okay, we need one more thing. We need a butterfly. And this butterfly is just gonna hang out here. And then I think we'll have another butterfly hang out and off the card right here. Now we have a completed card. We're using the Positive Thoughts stamp set. I love this stamp set. This is my go-to stamp set right now. I love that it has a feather on it. That was one of the reasons why I purchased it in the first place, is because I like to be able to have elements for just about everything, you know, so whether it's a rainbow or a feather or a house or a butterfly or something like that, I like to have a variety of elements so that if I get inspiration to create a card, then I won't be held back because I don't have the element. Like one time I was wanting to create a card for my granddaughter for gymnastics. At the time, and still, I do not believe we have any gymnastic images, and I haven't been in Stampin' Up! Long enough to have purchased any stamp from the past that has to do with gymnastics. So I had to go on the internet or Etsy or eBay and buy a gymnastics stamp set. Later on, we got something closer. We got some ballerina type. Was ballerina? I believe so. And my youngest granddaughter was doing ballet at the time, and I was like, yes, I can get this. Another one loves mermaids, and we have a mermaid stamp set, so I got that one. Anyways, for me, it's all about elements. We use the Positive Thoughts. This is our card today. This is our coordinating envelope. And I hope you enjoyed today's session, and we will see you again next time. I'm going to try and do this every Saturday at 11. Don't hold me to it quite yet. I have to get the habit of doing this, but I'm going to try to do Saturday lives at 11, and we will see you again next time. Goodbye.